PNG Happenings.
So if you can rise and hold the Bible with your right hand. And then you raise your left hand and you say, I think you should have a script before you. You repeat after me. I, say your name, swear an oath that the evidence I shall give on this examination shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you.
Okay, Secretary, based on the findings and the information that was provided to the PAC, we have realized that there are two different form of contracts that has been issued. One is under the PDIC or the Silver Book contract, and the other one is the traditional contract that is issued by the Department of Works. We would like you to clarify to the Public Accounts Committee which projects are qualified under the PDIC or the Silver Book format, and which one is under the traditional contract that is issued by the Department of Works.
Thank you, Chairman, and esteemed committee members. I want to thank my staff who are here to witness the inquiry. Department of Works is a technical department. We adopt the best engineering practice across the world. There is no contract issued by Works Department. It's a standard FIDIC conditions of contract, whether it's a red book, silver book, yellow book. It's an engineering procurement conditions of contract right across the world. And that is the best practice we adopt. So what we use, what you call design and build is a silver book model. The red book is the BOQ contract, schedule of rates contract. It's a red book under the FIDIC conditions of contract as well. So we adopt all the FIDIC conditions of contract.
Secretary, good morning, gentlemen, and if there's any lady around here, all our contractors who are here.
Chairman, this is just to show you. This is what you are referring to. This is the silver book, FIDIC conditions of contract. This is the red book, the schedule of rates contract. And this is the yellow book, the design and build contract. So we adopt all our conditions of contract based on this best practice.
Thank you, Secretary. That's very good that you have brought those books along. I think it is also important that we all know that you're in compliance of the FIDIC requirements. And so my questions will be around that as well. My question number one is with regards to our contractors. I say our contractors because they do contract for Papua New Guinea. We know that FIDIC has been in existence for over 50 years. If you go back and check their history, like the consultants who do consultancy work for Teddy Mines, for the fisheries and for forest, what's the name of the consultants at forest? So the FIDIC has been in existence for just over 50 years now. And so they provide consultancy advice for a lot of projects, not in Papua New Guinea only, but right throughout the world with the experiences that they have. My question to you, Secretary, is since FIDIC has been used as a stepping stone, a goalpost for us to start from, how many of our contractors are in compliance to the FIDIC standards? And when I say to the FIDIC standards, I mean, have you trained our contractors to the FIDIC standards? Number one. Have they attended any contract courses in terms of FIDIC, understanding the FIDIC principles? Do they practice the business practice courses of FIDIC, the value courses, and other training opportunities that FIDIC provided? Do our contractors comply to what I've just mentioned, to the 6 points that I've pointed out? Are they FIDIC certified contractors? Thank you.
Thank you, committee member, for that very important question. Procurement matters relies with the National Procurement Commission. The contractors are private companies. They establish under IPAs. The regulations of the business is not under Department of Works. We look after the performance in terms of contracting. So we only measure the performances. But in place of FIDIC training, we've allowed for our contracts to provide training for our staff. We've sent most of our engineers to attend training that will also guide our contractor. And since taking office, we've established contractor development policy within, it's part of our department, as part of our institutional reform. And so we've now taken on board how to train our current contractors to be FIDIC certified. As it is now, they're not FIDIC certified.
Problem.
Yes, so they're not FIDIC certified because that goes back to NEC decision 4195.
I'll stop you there. I'll stop you there. Right there at the onset, the question by the chairman has specifically asked that. And I'm actually very surprised. I'm actually very surprised that 5 years down the line and our contractors are not FIDIC certified. You cannot be using FIDIC standards if your contractors are not FIDIC certified. We should just stop all the contractors now and get them to be FIDIC certified. I have the Engineers Institute rep here, PNG rep here. My brother Benedict is seated at the back there. And he will attest with me that you cannot run a project. If you're using the FIDIC standard, you cannot run a project if you're not certified. I was, for a short while, Minister for Forest. And no logs leave the country without inspection by that time our consultant, who SGS. Nothing goes out. And if your log goes out, they'll ban it because you're not complying to SGS standards. They're international standards that we comply to. And FIDIC is an international standard that we comply to. And if you're not complying to FIDIC standards and you're using FIDIC as a tool or as a starting point, then I'm a very concerned PAC member seated before you, Secretary. And so may I ask, since you have mentioned that none of them is FIDIC certified, may I ask that you get them to comply to that, please?
And that is the training program we've started, the Contractor Capacity Development Program. There's a lot of issues relating to contractor capacity building in this country, and Department of Works alone cannot fix it. It has to be within Commerce and Industry Act. They legislated under the classification of contractors, and then they provided support. So Department of Works uses the contractor that is classified through the industry unit under Commerce and Industry. So that is something that is need to be done the government-wide. We can't do it within Department of Works only. So we got to be looking at bipartisan approach where the policy needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
And then we can get the training. And the other thing is the training institution is not available in country. We need to bring the training in country. And we need to establish institutions that will have the certified programs in country to teach that, even in universities. So then it's easily available for contractors. It's very expensive to send our contractors overseas to also, to undergo the studies.
Secretary, I do agree with you on that. I totally agree with you. Chairman of the board is seated at the back of you. Would you also agree with me that we didn't put that in place before getting into the arrangements of Connect PNG? If that is a paramount important fact that we need to get correct, no wonder the PAC report presented to us this morning has got a lot of flaws in the inquiry when we went down to the ground. And the next question that will come to you is about the compliance to the standards of design, compliance to the standard of workmanship, and compliance to not only workmanship but the certification of man personnel on site, because that is part of the FIDIC requirements.
Sorry, Chairman and esteemed members. I'm also the president of the Institute of Engineers here in country. And that is something that we are upholding in our engineers as a code of conduct and practice. Training a company is actually training engineers that will have to be certified. And that is what we are going through, engineers that should be registered through the competency-based assessment process, and making sure they comply with all these conditions of contract, including the FIDIC training programs. So that is something that we are working through institution now to institute across all our engineers, including contractors engineers. And many of them has come into submitting their competency-based assessments in complying to those standards. So that is currently being implemented. Many of our engineers are working in it, with including training of the contractors. What you see, the traditional form of contract that DOW has been using, the Red Book, is a FIDIC conditions of contract, which our small contractors are submitting the works within 10 million kina, 15 million kina at the threshold level, where they can implement, so they can manage within that amount of work. So that has been the case traditionally that we have been implementing, but that's a FIDIC form of contract as well, which is a Red Book schedule of rate contract. So if we stop all the contracts, no work can be done. But we have to work as a process to train, institute it through the institutions and help them to grow, and so that we can implement the government policy, government programs across the country.
Secretary, what is the difference between the FIDIC Red Book and the Silver Book?
The FIDIC Red Book is a schedule of rate contract. That's a difference. The Silver Book is a design and construct.
What's the first one again?
It's a schedule of rate contract, BOQ contract.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means that the contractor will, the client designs and provide the quantities, and then they bid. Right. The schedule of, the EPC is a lump sum contract.
Right.
Yes. So
with the Silver Book, which is the FIDIC standard that has been implemented in the Connect PNG program, correct? Not the Red Book? No, both, okay. Both model of contracts are being used. EPCs, there's work that is required for EPC contract, and there is a schedule of rate contracts used on specific contracts as well. So like Bautama to Imila is using Red Book. It's a maintenance contract, schedule of rate. Then from Imila to Marukuna is a EPC book, design and build. So there are two different model of contract. Why the difference in when do you determine what should be used where? One is a determined scope, which existing road, it's a maintenance work. Yes. It's only just maintenance. One is a fully reconstruction work. Right. And it's a big lump sum contract, big amount of work. So we utilize EPC contract because the client doesn't have a design. So when the client doesn't have a design, does the client not want to do the design? The client do not have the capacity to do the design. We leave it out to the private firms to do the design. And this is a packaged
The contractor has the capacity to design and they build, instead of you getting a consultant to do the design first and then construct. So you reduce the project delivery time frame.
And the amount is the
It's
lump
design
sum?
plus construction.
Yes. Do you have the figure from the outset before the invitation is made or tender?
As engineers, we do engineers estimate as a control budget, so we can assess when the bidders submit their bid.
And
Yes,
how do they bid? Do you advertise?
correct. Through public procurement.
So this list of roads that we went through earlier this morning, is that an exhaustive list of Connect PNG roads?
What do you mean by that?
16 roads were shown, given to the 14 roads were given to the PAC to inspect, and this morning we had a summary of each of them.
No, it's not. The report that I sent it to the chairman was full list of works. You only chose 13 to inspect.
Right. So the full list is how many roads in this country?
We have 13,700 kilometers of national highways, 21,000 subnational roads across the country.
How did you determine 16,000 kilometers as a projected target?
That's under economic transport economic studies undertaken by Department of Transport. That's under the PNG strategic development plan and national transport strategy.
Okay. Before I continue, yesterday I asked for copies of minutes of meetings of the board. Do you have them here this morning?
The CEO road fund is here, and the chairman is here. Yes.
Thank you. Can you hand that up to the committee? Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you, Secretary. I want to also ask now for a copy of all the payments under the Connect PNG program from day one. All the contracts that have been listed and all the payments, every single one of them.
We
Can
can
you
ask the
produce that?
we can ask the committee to put it in writing, and we'll finish those reports.
No, I'm asking for it now. You need to deliver
Not
it.
now because we don't have it now.
Okay, can you ask your officers to compile it and deliver it within the next 2 weeks?
So
So they'll be delivered up together with the confirmation of account opening on or before 16th of February. Is that reasonable?
sure.
Thank you very much, Secretary.
Secretary, if I may, on the FIDIC arrangements that you have, the silver book, you explained the difference between the silver book and the red book. I think as lay people who are not engineers, we need to know that as well. But I hear that you do have capacity issues in terms of workmanship, engineers, personnel in Department of Works, and for that purpose you have gone for the FIDIC arrangements in that the roads were designed by the contractor, and the contractor also builds the road. Would it be proper that you separate the design works to an independent body to design the roads, and construction is done by the contractor, so that you can have the designer of that contract become the inspector of the contract? Because I just see there is, when you have a person designing the road and then you also get him to construct the road, that means he will have to provide his inspectors also to inspect the road. Would that be correct?
Not necessarily. We have a project management in place where we assign engineers and project management officers who are on site managing and supervising the road. The designs are submitted to our design office. We have engineers who scrutinize the designs according to our design standards, and we approve. So that process is managed by Department of Works. The contractor cannot just construct. It's a process that the initial 6 months is given to the contractor to do the design, and we supervise the designs as well. So the designs are submitted to our design office. Our engineers review the designs. We give approval before they can commence construction. So the commencement notice are only issued when the designs are satisfied.
Okay, when your inspectors and engineers get out there to supervise the project, with the construction company. The reports are sent back to you or to your office for compliance purpose. Would you have those reports available with you?
Yes, we have the monthly reports for each of the projects available.
May I ask kindly that some of those reports be furnished to us so we can compare our investigation done with your reports, since we have provided the reports up there, and you can see there's non-compliance of in certain areas of the project, and it would be good that we compare the report furnished to your office in comparison with our investigations as well.
Yes, so we can do that. In relation to the presentation, I've seen there's some inconsistencies in the presentation because there's some incorrect contract information and the assessments on the reports that being presented. So we can correct that as well because there's some misinformation on the contract data that has been presented in your reports. So we can provide that as well.
You have something? Secretary, just very quickly, for a layman person like me, would you be able to demonstrate to us, if you have available, the layers of road construction up to ceiling?
I don't know, you have a whiteboard here so I can lecture. But in layers of the pavement structure is made from subgrade, which is the existing surface. From the subgrade, you carry out a CBR test to confirm whether the subgrade is strong enough to carry the load of the traffic. If it is not enough, then we have to do the replacement. That's when we have to put a capping layer. After the capping layer, then you put up a sub-base material, which is an engineered structured material. It's cut from a crusher. It's not just carried from a gravel, so it's an engineered material. We get it from a crusher sub-base, and then you put up a base course, then you put up the surfacing, which is whether bitumen seal, double coat seal, or asphalt or concrete is different based on the designs. So the design is structured based on engineered design and investigations. But more or less, you have almost 5 layers of pavement.
Yes. Do you have your engineers on site who make certain that the approved materials are used before they are laid?
Yes, that is why we carry out our QA/QC tests across the country. Our labs are accredited with NIST standards. So we have engineering labs right across the country from the department, from each of the 4 regions, including some provincial offices. Yes.
With the use of asphalt, how much of contract has used asphalt so far?
Mostly the city roads. Only Lane Ajab currently. The one that you have visited, Lane Ajab and Mount Hagen. City road is current and Tokwa to Kokopo. They are designed for the asphalt pavement, but rest of the roads are bitumen double seal coat.
With the issues that we're facing at the moment, right throughout the country, unprecedented rains, and issues of climate change effect that is affecting our roads, and not only roads but all infrastructure in the country. And just yesterday, as I was talking to senior member for Rabao, Honorable Dr. Marat, he mentioned of one of the roads that was washed away very recently when he was driving past. He saw the effect of climate change. And my question would be, how much involvement has climate change in connection to the designs that we have today with Department of Works and the contractors?
Thank you, committee member. That's a very good question. Department of Works, since the establishment of Climate Change Development Authority, has been one of our key stakeholders. We even went ahead to establish a branch for social and the environmental safeguard, and we have an environmental branch unit for climate change officers. And now we have already developed climate resilient infrastructure standards and guidelines, and we have adopted the designs. What you see in our bitumens, we have bitumen class 170 and bitumen class 320, which is used in asphalt. So there are two different codes. And we are doing a revision on the standards to adopt the climate resilient specification. As we speak, we have ADB consultants now reviewing our pavement design manual and our highway maintenance manual. As we speak, it's going on. So we should conclude by updating our standards to be climate resilient, yes.
I asked this question, Deputy Chairman, I asked this question because it is very important. It is very important that FIDIC is now adapting, has already adapted the climate resilience program into its road construction. And if we do not, our contractors, if you're sitting here and you're listening, you need to get yourself updated with the FIDIC standards and the climate change standards when it comes to construction of our roads. If you are not, then the roads that you are building today will fail tomorrow.
Okay, Secretary, if I could just jump in at this juncture. The Environment Act prescribes specifically Connect PNG Program, Connect PNG roads as level 2, level 3 roads. And so in the process of procurement, all these contracts you've listed under the program, are they EIA certified?
Correct. We have permit applications with the Environmental Act 2000 amended. We always get, it's a category A and category B works. And we always get a permit from environmental SEPA. So those categories that we are doing, big reconstructions that require clear filling and all that we call to have the permit. Otherwise, there's only for minor maintenance, there's no permit required.
Would you be so kind to,
for existing roads.
when you finish the contract copies, would you be so kind to just attach those copies as well?
Sure. We'll give those reports.
I'll just stop at this point. I see there's a gentleman in the back whispering to yourself, and he must be annoyed. So if we can have him sworn in, and when opportunity arises, we can be fair to him to express his views. Thank you. If you can just state your name and your designation under, I understand, works.
Thank you. Firstly, my name is John Kyle. I'm the principal consultant of the Halbe Consultants Limited, managing and supervising most of the EPC Silver Book projects.
Thank you. So you repeat after me.
I.
You state your name. Oh, sorry.
I, John Kyle.
Yes. Swear on oath.
The evidence I shall give on this explanation shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, based on knowledge, experience, and best practice. Thank you. So help me God.
This is a serious oath you're taking. Please do not make a mocker of our oath. You just did. That I take serious issue with. Well, it doesn't say truth, and you didn't say truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. You said something other than that, and that is very, very bad. As a senior officer, I must warn you. You are before the Public Accounts Committee. This is not a committee should not be making a mocker of. We're talking about billions of kin of the people's money. Your cheek is not welcome in this committee. Thank you. You were saying earlier in relation to the environment certifications, would you be so kind to assist the committee to understand the standards required?
Thank you. Deputy Chair, well, I'm given the opportunity, Chairman and esteemed PAC committee members. Yes, all the projects, according to what we know, we normally manage the EIA environmental assessments. And at the moment, the reports are ready for the big, I'm talking for the big silver books. When we were talking about the, I think, the other question was asked with regards to EPC contracts. The EPC contracts are quite big contracts, so most of the silver books are applied on big contracts where the money is big, more or less like more than 100 million kines. You apply those big contracts, and that is where you also bring big experienced contractors who are knowledgeable on FIDIC, and they have done similar design and construct work. So they are bringing experience to partner with the client. As a result, the continuum of work, especially when you are doing some of this reconstruction work, the gravel extraction, for instance, it will go to more than 100,000 cubic meters. And that is where the SEPA requires an environmental permit. So the implementing agency, for instance, in this case, Department of Works, is required to do an assessment, environmental assessment, and submit a permit. At the stage Lena job, they have a permit. Monaghan 4 Lane, they have a permit. For other EPC contracts, they have the reports, but they are in the process of the permit. Thank you, sir.
So with these contracts under the Connect PNG program, all bearing certification of SEPA?
Yes, they should, especially those big ones are under the EPC Silver Book.
Would you be so kind, if I may ask, on behalf of the committee, to assist, when you assist the compilation of the documents, attach those as well, just for completeness?
Yes, we will support Department of Works to provide.
Thank you very much.
Ensure that correct documents are submitted.
Thank you, sir.
I'll go back to the Secretary again. Secretary Works. Secretary Works, in our midst, we have a very qualified engineer who sits in the Institute of Engineers of Papua New Guinea, of which you are the president. How much involvement is the office? Has the office been invited to be part of the board, number one, the Connect PNG board, number one. Number two, the Institute of Engineers, PNG, who are a very qualified body, have they been given the opportunity to look at the designs of the road as an independent body, other than Works doing the same thing? Have we given the Institute of Engineers the opportunity to participate in our construction, in our development, in our expansion of infrastructure in our country? Papua New Guinea is going through a very important phase of development. We want to be at the forefront like other countries, but at the same time, we have a very powerful body that is seated amongst us now, and who have been in existence since Adam was born, and we, I think, haven't used them in that capacity to support us and work with us in the development of our infrastructure in the country. What do you say to that?
Thank you, sir. It's getting excited when you talk about engineering, because that's where I really love doing it. As the president of the Institute of Engineers, the IPNG Act, what you call Professional Engineers Registration Act, which governs the ethics and conduct of engineers, has no oversight on the design work. Unless there is an audit process where they become as an adjudicator, they are part of the contract. In the adjudication arbitration process, when there is an issue in the contract, then IPNG comes in as an arbitrator and as an adjudicator in the process, but not at the construction phase or even in a design phase, unless there is a audit requirement, and the auditors will write to them to request IPNG to come in and provide a third-party assessment, but not during the the construction or even implementation of the project. That's not part of the mandate. And the Minister for Works and Highways has oversight role on the PERA Act. So that is how the involvement of the institution is. And since taking office, we've made an amendment to now have our capacity established right across the region, so that we can support government in terms of conducting engineers' ethics and conduct in practice. So there is a amendment currently before the FLC for the amendment of the Engineers Act. So that will help us to now have have an oversight role in terms of trying to manage our engineers, because our role as IPNG is the engineers, not the work, to ensure that the engineers conduct their work in compliance to the standards. Yes.
Secretary, thank you. So I want to draw your attention to that road, the physical road. It bothers me because the committee came back with. Can we go back to the slide so it just makes this conversation a bit more relatable? While the slide is being put up, the top left, the pink in the top left frame, the contract that was executed was relating to the pink stretch of that marking, which is 100 kilometers along the coast. The inspection team that went up found that the road that has been built, pilot track, is looks different. Can you explain to us how that eventuates?
Thank you, Deputy Chair and the committee members. That project has been one of our key projects. We wanted to connect from the to the coast. It was changed by a political decision to bring the contract into the mountains. Initially, I was at the time I designed under Mr. Were. I was the Affairs Design Services, and we did a preliminary assessments on this route, and we selected the route to go on the coast from Bukawa alignment to Laputa and then to Pindiu. This was changed under a political direction to go from Hopua up into Burum Kuat and then to Pindiu. That's why we have to change the scope from a class 3 road to a pilot track, because the mountain, as you design the road according to our design standard, you can't go above 16% climb. That's beyond the absolute maximum. So we have to reduce it to a pilot track. We can't get a big truck up there. So we design for big trucks. We don't design for 4-wheel drives. So that is why we have to downgrade it to a pilot track.
So the contract, this is allow for variation of
It's a lump sum contract, but it's a change of scope within the same cost. So you have to build it within 286 without any variation increase, but a change of scope.
So that's how many kilometers?
That's 100 kilometers.
And the 100 kilometers have been applied to that green sketch?
No. That 100 kilometers is for the down on the Buka on the coastal side.
The original
contract. Yes, the original contract, because the lump sum contract cannot have a variation. We have to limit it to 100 kilometers.
Is the road complete?
Not yet.
Is the what's the total sum of that contract?
286, according to the report that you presented and to what we have presented to you.
Yes. So 286 million has been applied to this project?
Correct.
And the road is not complete?
Not yet.
How much more to go? Distance before the two green lines are connected?
What we paid so far in terms of the specifics?
Yes.
We paid them 55 million.
Okay.
Outstanding payments yet to pay is 158. The balance of the contract is 47.5 million kina. Balance of the contract. Let me just get to the specifics on the details of the project. This project, from what we have, Deputy Chair, from Lei Finchaben Road, the physical highway, the total physical progress to date on what we have constructed so far. What we have contracted so far is 40.48% of that 100 kilometers. So you would say it's around 40 kilometers done so far.
Also 60 kilometers yet to
go. But we are working from both sides.
Can you help me understand?
That's on lay approach,
that side.
and then from FinServen approach. So the contractor has split his team, and they're working on both ends.
Yes.
Mm.
Can you just help us understand why yielding to, you say, political redirection to change the road? How do you reconcile that with contract?
What we managed at the time is that the current member for FinServen wanted to build a road on the towards the upstream end. So when the contract was awarded, that was the request that came in for us to administer. So in that regard, because there was a realignment on his priorities in the district, so we have to just change the scope, but have to within the contract limit. So there is no variation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. His work is still continuing?
Correct. But because of the payments, outstanding payments, they've stopped work.
Okay. Do you plan on paying the outstanding?
Yes. It's part of the payment processes. Some of those things.
It's an ISO. It actually gives you a very bad reflection, Secretary.
Correct.
People will not understand the intricacies of or the difficulties or challenges of your cash flow. Will say something other than.
And at the same time, the terrain is very challenging. The contractor will exhaust all the contract quantities trying to just punch through the mountain. So, and that is something that has been also an impediment for contractor to punch the road up that mountain.
Yes, I think the members of the committee will attest to that themselves with the team. So you will need don't need to convince them. They are very well convinced. Help me understand the workings of a very technical department you run. You have the works managers from each of the provinces, correct, or region? Region or
Provinces.
So in those provinces where the projects are implemented, what is the role of the works manager?
Works manager is basically the delegate of secretary in the province. And he oversees all the assets of the department, both human resource and all the implementation projects. So it's not just a project management officer. He also oversees on all administrative processes in the province.
So, and I also notice each of the contracts have project management units or management teams separately, subcontracted. What's the arrangement? How do they get paid?
So the project management consultants are paid out of the project cost of each of the projects, the funding that we receive from allocation from government. Now that is part of our capacity because you see, in example, Morobe province, we have almost 10 districts, and projects are right across each of the 10 districts, and you only have 2 project engineers under our structure to supervise projects in all of the 10 districts. We have capacity issues to send 2 engineers to assess all the work. So we need capacity support from project management consultants to counter support our staff.
We have contract value, enormous 100 million kina contracts to carve out. You just said that the project management teams, consultants are paid from the percentage of the contract.
Not contract, but from the project allocated under the PIP.
Right.
Under the funds,
So
under the budget.
you don't think that's necessary to add to the budget of Works Department to beef up your capacity to do project management?
That's part of our structure now. We're doing a restructure to now bring in engineers
Right.
to increase our capacity in the province. So that's part of the administrative process. Our challenge, we are a public service department, and TPM gives us a ceiling. We can't increase our capacity. So if we get all the engineers, there will be no admin staff. So you are working within a 1,400 staffing. So if I become an authority, I can engage so many engineers. The challenge I have is I'm a public service department. I have a staff ceiling, and I have to work within that budget. So that's where capacity issues comes in.
In the Connect PNG arrangements, there's a company intended to be established or authority intended to be set up. What's the name of that authority or the entity?
I think it was yesterday's discussion was PNG Highways Corporation.
Correct.
Yes.
Is that the corporation you would have envisaged to cater for your expanded capacity?
That corporation arrangement, as I think our predecessor, my predecessor, former secretary was explaining it too, was in terms of implementation. To like our PDB days, we used to have PDB doing most of the construction and maintenance works ourselves.
Yes.
And that was the kind of envision we wanted to park the Connect PNG program under that special purpose vehicle, so that they can carry on to implement the project, so we can support in terms of management and oversight on the program.
Has that intention been, is it being, has that changed in terms of implementation? Do you still see it happening into the future or not?
We want to rearrange our reforms going forward in terms of how we can utilize PDB. So we are now putting together a reform to capacitate PDB so that they can also carry out this kind of missing links projects. We can support PDB just like what we did for transnational between CALF and Morobe. Our PDB teams are building it themselves. So we can manage the cost within daily arrangement. So that's the reforms that we are doing at the moment, yes.
Secretary, how much does the project management exercise cost the department?
It depends on the project, the contract cost.
In total, in your mind?
In my mind, it's like almost 30 to 20 million kina in the current Connect PNG program.
Are you able to furnish us also copies of the project management costings as well?
Correct.
Per project?
It's part of our project the monthly reports.
So give us an example. Just pick one random project, for instance, and tell us what it in your memory.
All right. So if you look at Imila to Morikuna project, this is a global contract. That is a 164 million kina contract. Albi Consultants is managing that. So their project cost is almost
164 million is the contract value.
Yeah.
Supervision costing is?
So in average annually it's 2 million kina every year on an annual cost. So if you look at a contract over 3 years times 3, so it would be like 3.5. Yeah, almost.
And what about the Magiewe phase 1?
Yeah, that's
same,
what
same.
So if you apply the project cost, it's based on project length as well, because we have to insert project officers in between, because that's 100 kilometers. You can't have one engineer driving through the entire section. You got to have project, because the works are being carried out in different locations. You have the culvert works, pavement works, earthworks, so engineers has to be, and project officers has to be inserted in each of the sections. Otherwise we compromise the quality.
And what are they going to do with Sebore?
Sebore is part of the maintenance program that's currently design approved. They already design approved for us to install a bridge from a culvert. So it's an upgrade from a bridge, from a culvert to a bridge. The issue is more to do with hydraulics, so I can have a special, maybe explanation later on this. But it's a hydraulic issue with flooding over the road, because the channel is running across parallel to the road. So we need to open up the channel to make it wide so that we control the overflooding.
And that's going to happen when?
It's already starting. They've done the bypass. So once they do the bypass, then we can build the road. The issue was with the landowners, because the bypass is going to the private land, and we need to manage the landowner. And one of those key issues that's affecting our project delivery across the country, that this almost 99% of PNG is owned by private citizens. So we got to manage the landowner issues to deliver projects. So that has been the case.
Thank you for that. Yes, you are right. You are 100% right. That land is a very, very important consideration in this even project development. So we are on the same page again on that. But when do you think this project will be delivered for Sebore? I always say this because a lot of our commuters travel up and down on a daily basis. Even on the weekends, one of you who go to March Girls on the way back might have a very serious accident. And
maybe to visit you.
yes. But it is you have those emergency situations.
Correct.
And the rains are not doing us any justice. So it's a query I think a lot of people will want to know. And while we'd have the opportunity, I wanted you to express some thoughts.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate that this part of the maintenance issue that we didn't address it quickly. The issue was that we could have to come up with a proper design. Just putting up a culvert won't fix the problem. It will
Yes.
continue to reoccur because the upstream end of where the current creek runs is kind of a swampy. So we got to understand how it floods from where Mirikera is, where the plantation is coming in between.
Yes.
So the design engineers were trying to do a proper hydraulics modeling to understand what the kind of high flow during the flood period, and at the same time trying to rechannel the flow. So those design decisions has to be made, and it has taken us quite a while. But now that the design has been approved, we've now worked on the pipeline. So eventually, let's say by first quarter, we should see a progress.
Thank you very much, Secretary. It's very good. I think the people of Port Moresby are very happy to hear this, and also hear inquiry.
Chairman.
Sorry. Can we, technical people, can you put up the Fisker highway up again, please?
PNG Happenings.